All right. In this video, I'm going to show how I took inspiration from Facebook Ads Manager and moved it into an ad format for myself where it could have taken hours of manually watching, but instead it took me like, I don't know, 15 minutes to basically parse through a bunch of videos and go through stuff. So I'm a huge fan of Superhuman and John Madsen. And as you can tell, I went through the program. It was a life-changing thing for me. His ad really spoke to me. He has these kind of obnoxious ads where he's like, if you don't make less than 150,000, you shouldn't do this. But it worked. Spoke to me, changed my life. And I'm trying to speak to the same audience for a program around quitting drinking. Quitting drinking, um, quitting drinking called Ambition versus Alcohol, where people can use their ambition to get over alcohol. It's kind of like the opposite of AA for those of us who didn't want to admit that we're powerless over alcohol, et cetera. It's all about building a new identity. And so in doing that, I thought, well, who better than to model my ads after? So here's how I went about doing it with Claude. So the first thing is I came into the ad library, which is the Facebook/ads library. And I looked up, I tried to find the right account, which is John Madsen. It has a lot of different, ads here. It could take hours to kind of take this and look through and kind of parse different notes. There's a lot of expensive tools on the, just SaaS tools that kind of do this for you too. But I thought, well, why not just use Claude Code? And so what I did was I came over to Claude Code. So now we're in Claude. My prompts are usually, pretty shitty. I just use voice ink and I just hold and I just kind of talk. I always refine the prompts later, but I figure the first time I just want to get as much across from context as well, especially with 4.7, it's quite good. So I ask, hey, is it possible to go to that website, Ads Manager, get a bunch of that content, bring it down locally, get transcripts of it, analyze the themes, go across everything, and then build essentially a framework for how his ad is the most effective. And it comes up with all of the different steps that it's going to do. It goes into the link that I give for the actual ad library. I installed the fastest whisper. You do that through the CLI using Homebrew, and then basically it's going to go and it's going to get these things. I think all of this is allowed. If it's not, and here I am making a video, I'm sorry. There's a lot of gray area right now, but they're public ads, and I'm not taking any of his content. Would never do that, John. But the framework is really good, and it comes up with a really good proxy here, which I love. It comes up with a framework to help me, like what's the longest running, which ones have been duplicated, and which ones have multiple versions. And so, as a marketer, I would probably know how to do that manually if I'm going through it. But I love that this model basically thinks ahead of me and is basically going to say, okay, we're going to give you the framework for how to select this before I even prompt it. That's one of the benefits of working in this. So I install the Whisper, and then it gives me the full write-up here, which is kind of like the full analysis of like what is working in his framework, right? And it has these different beats here, like the scenes and the different alternating concepts that he's used in different things. And so it basically tells me kind of like, what's that beat? It comes up with some idea of like what I could talk about because it kind of knows what my thing is, but I haven't yet posted my entire creative brief. Now I go and I post my entire creative brief. This is pretty wild. This is a whole separate project that I'm going to post, but I've basically created an entire content engine with 5 posts per day across different formats, matching some of the highest performing content not for people who are necessarily drinking. I mean, they are drinking, but they're not looking for like, I need help, because these are people who are just, alcohol is just getting in the way of their life. These aren't like people who are like, I can't wake up in the morning necessarily. And so I have a very specific audience. I have 150 scripts. I've done a lot of content. I put it all in here. Cool. Instantaneously gets that. then builds me my own script that's based on that with the same beats, so I can follow that same VSL, video sales letter format. Now, you know, the cool thing here is that it really does a good comparison of substitutions. So it's kind of like, okay, like Madsen's like very much like a pool Rolex guy. That's not me. I'm talking to a very like tech oriented, I'm not a very fancy guy. I don't wear fancy watches. So it's my thing's more about like Monday morning, Slack, stuff like that. And then it just basically kind of translates these. It has a voice rule compliance check that matches this versus my voice. I had built an eval into how to go through all the scripts I made and remove like the top 15 things that make it sound like an AI wrote it, because it should be based on all my existing human content. That's a big rule for me. And then it gives some production notes. So now I can go and I can create 4 quick VSLs and I can run those as ads. And it's not so easy to record those. But within a week of filming and editing, so 1 hour of filming, and then I'll send it to my editor, and he'll do probably like 2 hours on that. I have a high chance of having an ad that speaks to this audience that works. Now, I don't have the same targeting. There's a lot of secret sauce in the targeting, but I can figure that out later. Okay, if you like this content, drop a comment. Let me know what you want to see next. I'm just always tinkering on the weekends. Okay, see ya. Oh, also, if you have feedback on the interface, I've always used Terminal with Claude Code. So I just recently started using the desktop one. I've been using the desktop one for co-work and chat, but never for code. And I found that it's less powerful, but that it's just so much easier because like, you can kind of keep, rather than having 6 terminals open and trying to save to Claude MD and trying to then go look in memory and figure out what to do. So I'm curious if people have hacks around how to make the desktop version just like as powerful as Terminal, because the interface is really nice. All right, thanks.